Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and today I want to ask the question, why do so many gamers want Battlefield Bad Company 3? I bring this up because I am one of these people. I would love to have another one of these games, but when I look back at Bad Company 2, I realized that it was a pretty big deviation from what the Battlefield franchise was known for. The biggest thing probably is that it focused more on infantry-based gameplay, and while there were a couple of vehicles here and there, it wasn't that all-out epic warfare that the Battlefield franchise was known for before that. Not only that, but it also didn't have 64-player servers, which was kind of a staple of the franchise, harping back to that all-out epic warfare. Then when you actually get down to the gameplay, you notice some pretty big issues with it. One of the biggest things is that compared to modern first-person shooters, it is incredibly clunky. The first time that you jump on in, you go back and play it for a couple of minutes, that's the first thing that you're gonna realize. Movement just feels awful. Like, really simply put, it doesn't feel good compared to the modern Battlefield games and pretty much all other first-person shooters. It also had serious issues with grenade spam. You'd have assault players laying down their ammo boxes and then just spamming grenades and using their grenade launcher all game long and just raking in the kills on rush. There'd be people running around with a Carl Gustav rocket launcher for the engineer class and using that as a primary weapon to take out infantry. It was incredibly frustrating to fight against these players. And so with all these issues and this big deviation from what the Battlefield franchise was originally known for, why was it so successful, and why do so many people want to return to what this was all about and have another Bad Company? I think one of the biggest reasons for this, and of course I can only speak for myself, this is just my opinion, is that destruction. The destruction of Bad Company 2, simply put, was amazing because it made the world feel more alive and dynamic. Knowing that I can open up basically every wall with my grenade launcher when I'm running around as the assault class is invigorating. Knowing that I just got an awesome flank off on the enemy team as a recon, and then I can use C4 to open up the goddamn roof. Not just a wall, but the roof itself, and then get on the roof for a nice sniper perch, is something that you just do not experience in any other first-person shooter. And while of course it did have its drawbacks, if the match lasts longer than 20 minutes, pretty much all the buildings were destroyed and everyone was hiding in the rubble, and the gameplay stagnated a bit. No one wanted to run out in the open, and so you kind of got into a stalemate situation. For the first 15 minutes though, it is one of the coolest things that you can experience. Just simply knowing that you can change the map to the situation around you and being able to use that destruction to your advantage is just something that I wish more video games took advantage of, and it was honestly one of the best aspects about Bad Company 2. Another thing I really loved about it is that it seemed like they knew what they wanted to do with relation to their map balance and their game mode design. This was the first time that they introduced Rush into the franchise, with Bad Company, and they nailed it out of the park. One of the reasons for this was that they designed the maps around the game mode and not the other way around. This is a problem that we have right now in the modern Battlefield games. They try to put every single game mode into a map, and for the most part, it doesn't work. That wasn't the way that they approached it back in Bad Company 2. And so the result of this is that while you did have fewer game modes at your fingertips, usually those game modes played significantly better because the maps were designed around it and they didn't compromise. If you were playing Conquest, like on Laguna Alta, for example, it was designed around Conquest. They never added a Rush version because it just wouldn't make sense on that map. Same is true for a lot of the Rush versions. And so I think it's for this very reason why I enjoyed the game as much as I did, because they didn't muddy the water with trying to create maps that were just average for all game modes. They created maps that were incredible for the game modes that they had, and while it did have the drawback that you didn't have as many game modes at your disposal, the ones that you had were absolutely fantastic. I think what it really comes down to though, and one of the biggest reasons why so many people want to return to Bad Company, is that this was the first Battlefield game that introduced them to the franchise. Before this, there was never a Battlefield that made its way on over in a console, at least if memory serves. I might be wrong with this, but this really was the biggest commercial success for a Battlefield game on the consoles. And so all those people that had never been able to experience the Battlefield franchise in all of its glory, they never had that Battlefield experience, finally got it on the console. And while of course this doesn't apply to everyone, there were hardcore veterans that love Bad Company and would love to see a Bad Company 3. I'm kind of in this category, but I really do think that because this was, for a lot of people, their very first Battlefield game, it holds a lot of nostalgia, that this has a lot of sway on their opinion. And then finally we have the single player. The campaign was not revolutionary by any stretch of the imagination, but at least for your generic first-person shooter, it did what it did very, very well. It had characters that you actually cared about. I can remember the story because of the characters and the impression that they made on me. I can actually remember what happened in Bad Company 2. I can't say the same for Battlefield 3 or in Battlefield 4. I can't actually remember a single thing of the Battlefield 3 campaign other than there was like a nuke involved. Battlefield 4, all I remember is them screaming at me because my name was Wrecker. Didn't really leave a very good impression. And so once again, it wasn't a revolutionary campaign. What it did well because it was actually kind of grounded in reality and it had characters that you could relate to, or at least were interesting enough that could hold your attention. But let me know what you guys think about this topic. I had an itch to go back and play this game. I thought that this would be a fun topic to talk about. And so give me your reasons why you would like to see a return to Bad Company. Is it the balance between classes? Is it what I talked about? Is it some other reason that I didn't discuss? Let me know down below. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.